So this is fun. The fear there is the fear of the past. So 57 is fear of the future. 44 is fear of the past, or more specifically, the past repeating itself.
Yes, my husband loves that.
Yeah. Another thing that can just hamstring you there is like, okay, I'm afraid of the future, but I'm also afraid of the past repeat itself. So I can't go forward
Wow,
because I don't know what's going to happen.
it's almost like the spleen is like, stay in the moment.
Human Design reveals who you are energetically and who you came here to be. I'm Dana, your Human Design guide.
And I'm Haley, on this journey with you to uncover the power of human design.
Together, we're here to explore how embracing your authentic self is the ultimate path to a life of more freedom and fulfillment.
Welcome to the Human Design Hive podcast. Let's get into it.
Hello, Haley. Welcome back. How you doing?
Hey, good.
I don't know why I said welcome back, but I always want to change it up a little bit. But welcome back to you. Welcome back to our dear listener to the Human Design Hive podcast. We're glad to have you here for another transit episode.
Ooh.
Which it's a doozy this month. We got a lot to get through this month. So we've got like 6 transits.
Good
which
Lord,
is always
October.
I know, which is always a treat. But we move into a new gate at the beginning of the month, and on the last day of the month, we move into another gate. So there we are, having to cover them all. But they are getting a little bit easier with the being the kind of reversals of the transits from earlier in the year. But anyways, but yeah, so we've kind of stepped back a little bit in our frequency, but we're trying to keep up with these transit episodes. And I realized when we did last month's episode, we didn't really, if anybody's new to the podcast, talk about why we are doing these
Oh,
transit, why we do Sun and Earth transit. Other people do lots of transit of different planets, but I know you probably weren't planning to open the episode by talking, but let's see what Haley remembers. Let's why are we doing the Sun and Earth transits? We can do Sun first if you want.
Yeah. Okay. So, like you said, like there are a lot of transits, but we just focus on these two just because they are the most prominent and like make up the most of your chart. So, like the sun, which if you're looking at the chart is the top box on your chart on either side. Left side is unconscious, right side is conscious. But it's really big because obviously the sun is very big, so it's a huge part of your chart.
And it's like it's our star, and it's very close, and it's beaming lots of neutrinos at us all the time.
Yes, our little neutrinos. And then the Earth, we've added that to our transit episodes because the sun and the Earth are those programming partners, so they're always opposite each other on the mandala. Gotta have the hand signals.
That's right. They're locked together in movement around the chart, but on opposing sides. That's right. So they are what they call in the Gene Keys, he calls them programming partners because they do always move together. And where you can see over time, as we've been doing, how these 2 gates in particular kind of sometimes they create a real tension, sometimes they help. I mean, they always help enhance, not enhance, but let's say like they have similar themes in a way. And sometimes there's a lot of
a little bit more harmonious. There's like times where you have those tensions, like obvious tensions, and then those ones that are a little harmonious, but they still have oppositeness to them.
Yeah.
I think it's a word.
Well, and just like the in astrology, because human design is informed by astrology, obviously, it's a huge component of the system because of being determined by where the planets were on the day you were born. And then also on the left hand side of your chart, that red side of the chart, are where the planets were roughly 3 months before you were born. But the sun all over plays a huge part in a person's birth chart. In astrology, of course, it's your sun sign is the main personality theme. It's what you shine out into the world, and it's the same here with human design. And what makes it a little different for us is this earth placement that we talk about, which is in this context, the earth is the gate that the earth sits in your chart is energy that kind of like grounds you, is what they always say. And so when we're looking at your human design chart with that earth and sun partnership there, it's really that earth energy, if you kind of can anchor into it, helps that sun energy shine, is how they kind of explain it. And so we are moving towards the end of the year. We're in the third quarter of the human design year. And so, since these are programming partners, we at the beginning of the year were looking at these pairings flip flopped. So, like, we're going to start today with gate 48 in the sun and gate 21 in the earth. Well, 6 months ago, we were looking at gate 21 in the sun and gate 48 in the earth. So, it's interesting to see how they work together in general, but also how the theme flips a little bit when the roles are changed, let's say.
Mhm.
So we have fun with it, because also when the sun is transiting through a gate, this is something that is affecting everyone on the planet, right? I mean,
Mhm.
all the transits do, but because this is such a big placement in all the charts and all the influences, it means that there's quite a lot of possibility that in the collective, people are also experiencing these themes. And so it helps give you, I think, some guideposts, some guardrails,
Some heads
things
up.
to help you navigate some interpersonal relationships or what's going on in the world. If you might be like, oh, that might be this gate's influence here. But also, we've been using it as a way for us to really deepen our understanding of the human design gates, because there's 64 of them, and they all carry specific themes that are really encompassing the whole human experience. And they are derived from the 64 hexagrams in the I Ching. And so it's been a fun way for us to really, I think, like really get a better understanding of these gates.
Mhm.
And hopefully you listening, if you've been here listening for a while, it's helped you too. But yeah, so that's why we do it.
Yeah.
And like I said, we're might as well get right into it now, because we got a lot to cover
Yeah.
this month. So, mm, as I said, we are in the third quarter of the human design year. This quarter is called duality. And so there usually is a lot of themes here around our relationships, and we've
Mhm.
kind of gone through initiation, which is purpose fulfilled through mind, and then it goes into civilization, purpose fulfilled through form. It's all about building and growing, and now this is purpose fulfilled through like bonds or relationships. And this is actually the last uh, six gates of the quarter of duality. I looked it
Ooh,
up.
okay.
I did proactively look it up today, because I was like, I bet Haley's going to ask me. Next month in November, we're going to start the quarter of mutation.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're getting right through the year.
Wild.
Wild. All right. So on October 2nd, the sun's going to move into gate 48. Do I have to direct you? Are
Nope,
you going to
I already
find
found
them?
it.
You're going to find them. You
Already.
tell us.
It's in the spleen.
Spleen. Yes, it's the gate of depth in traditional human design. In the I Ching, it's called the well.
Mhm.
And in quantum, she calls it wisdom.
Mhm. Okay.
And as you said there, it's in the spleen connecting to gate 16
Mhm.
in the channel of the wavelength.
Ooh, that was fun.
Then the earth is going to be in gate 21,
Mm. Yes.
which
Mhm.
is
In the will center.
mhm, the gate of the hunter, huntress.
Mhm.
I Ching, it's called biting through.
Oh,
And in quantum, she calls it self regulation.
feels all over the place with those names.
Yeah, and it connects to gate 45 in the throat center, and that is the channel of money, honey.
Mhm.
Very specific. Although I mean, channel of money, you're like, okay, what's all this stuff? All these biting through and hunters regulation. Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
We'll get to it. Okay, so
There.
do you remember anything about Gate 48?
Mm.
Depth in the well and wisdom.
I feel like I want to say this is kind of like where you could get stuck in. It's either just this gate or this channel where it's kind of like the jack of all trades, master of none. Like it's something in the realm of there, I want to say.
Okay, well, you're kind of onto something. It's more the other end, but since you said this channel, okay, what do you know? Not necessarily the channel, but that current of energy where the
Hmm.
4816 is, it goes down to the 1858.
Hmm.
What can you tell us about that process? Do you remember?
I mean, okay, so the 18 is so it's like creation, judgment. I should know this.
It's
So
okay. It's all right. You don't
oh,
have to
it's
know this.
refining over repetition.
That's right. That's right. Okay, you got it. You're getting there. Okay. So, yes, this energy here, this is collective energy. And this is in this channel and in these gates that come from the root and are going up to the throat is all about, like you said, refining and mastering skills. And so gate 48 is called the well or
Hmm.
depth because it's in the spleen and it is part is that depth and wisdom part of the refinement. So it's like the energy starts down there in the 58 gate of joy, wanting to create something. It's a for the sake of sorry. It is wanting to master or create in a certain way. It's all the energies in these channels. If the easiest way for I think for you to remember what the themes are about is to think about the master craftsman or the high performance athlete or the Olympian, those types of people, of where you have something that you really want to be good at or do or master. And so gate 18 is like notices all the things that could be improved. And then gate 48 is where over time you have really developed the skills, the mastery. You go really, really deep. And 16 is the enthusiasm, is the zest, is the like, all right, let's go kind of thing.
Hmm.
That's sort of like the journey. But really, this is a gate 48 is called the well because there is a really deep intuitive knowing by this stage of that journey. It's like, you know, your stuff. And if you have gate 48 in your chart, you are probably someone who does go deep on certain subjects. Like you're going to have the things that really pull your interest or skills that you really have mastered over time. And it is always seeking to improve and to know more and to do better.
Hmm.
And it's motivated by this need to, because this is collective energy, to contribute what they know or what skills they have to the collective to add real value.
Hmm.
So, that being said, we know the spleen gates all carry a certain specific fear theme around
Hmm.
them. Do you remember what this one is?
I'm gonna guess it's about not knowing enough.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the fear of inadequacy.
Yes.
And the worry of not knowing enough or not being ready. But it's one of those things where it's like you know way more than you think you do, and you're way better at something than you
Hmm.
think of. If this is prominent in your chart because it's just part of your energy. There's no way you like half-ass it when you're like really
Hmm.
involved in something. And I mean like things that you really want to share, like we
Yeah.
said, because
Hmm.
I have this gate and I can half-ass things, sure.
Yeah.
But it can be this can be, especially if you're a line one. The energy here, the more shadow energies of it, that fear of inadequacy can be a real, what's the word? A real, the only word that's coming up is crutch, and that's not the right word. A real,
Detriment?
yeah, it can really trip you up. Let's just say that, because as in my experience being a line one and having lots of line ones in my chart, wanting to go deep and always feeling like I need more information and more information and more
Mhm,
information, then the gate 48 is the one that also is like, are you ready? Are you sure you're properly trained? These are the people that it's like, I just need the certification. I need one more training, maybe another degree before I'm ready to share what I have with the world, because
mhm,
there's just this always nagging feeling that you just, like you said, don't know enough.
mhm.
It's really awesome.
Yeah, you need your information safety blanket.
That's right. But in truth, when you are more in line with your energy, you've been using your strategy and authority, and you're not getting yourself hung up in all these inadequacies. You can use that quote unquote fear as fuel to really make sure that you are doing your best and putting your best effort forward, because this is energy that when you are really in that balanced expression of it's really bringing very refined, practical solutions that, since it's collective, it can really help people in certain ways and help improve their lives. And then also, I think that when you share your wisdom, it's felt, I think, also at that depth level, because it's almost like it goes so deep sometimes that it is really a part of your expression, and you do kind of take it in personally in your whole aura. I think sometimes when you're really love something and you really want to share it because you're really motivated to help people. And so uh I, it's I just want to encourage anybody listening who has this gate that doesn't feel ready. You're ready. I have to tell myself all the time, you're ready, you can do this, because it is a really big, it can, God, what's the word? It's not crutch. It can be a really big,
Obstacle?
yeah, you could make this quite a obstacle in your life of saying and believing honestly that a limiting pattern, that's what it is, a limiting belief, believing that you are
Mhm.
not ready. And so now gate 21 then, let's look over here at gate 21 for a minute in the earth.
Mhm.
So you you don't, you have 26, that's right.
I do have
S-
the 45, so I have the other side here.
Oh, okay. So,
Yeah, it's my unconscious earth. I got a lot of grounding here.
all right. So this one here then is over in the uh will center, the heart
Mhm,
center, ego. And it's very much tied to material resources, to the physical world.
mhm,
And it's very much the energy of wanting to manage and direct and control resources for the tribe.
mhm,
That's the overall theme they talk about there. It is focused on survival, because it is in this resource center, the will center is
mhm,
concerned with that. And those with this gate have a natural drive towards responsibility, leadership, resource management. And so the 45, like you have, is that king queen energy. And this one is called the hunter huntress. And so it's always in my mind, if you think about the maybe the medieval structure of like the king owns the land, the hunter hunts the land, they have the resources, they do all that stuff. And so the 45 is the overall leadership energy that has the, man, I'm drawing a blank today.
it has the best interests of the broader, in this analogy, kingdom,
Mhm.
um,
Well,
the benefit of all.
it's more like the king, the queen, whatever, owns the lands, and the 21 is the steward of the lands, in the sense of knows how to farm the land, hunt the land, manage the land, is the one that helps direct the resources so that everybody has what they need. They also, a lot of times, they talk about this is kind of like that accountant energy where they kind of manage other people's money.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why these two gates together a lot of times work best in relationships if one has one and one has the other. I mean, not to say it can't work for you if you don't have the whole channel, but it probably a lot of times does draw people together. It makes for a fortuitous relationship because, where one might be the one that holds the resources, the one is feels in a better position, is not trying to grab the resources, just wants to make sure they're used well, and make sure everybody
Mm-hmm.
has what they need. But on the other side of that is there's a lot of need for control in the gate 21, which can be to your detriment there. It can sometimes try to seize control without recognition. This
Surprising.
energy, when it's unbalanced, can become rather domineering or pushy or trying to prove worth because it is a will center gate. You could, when it's unbalanced, struggle in your power dynamics, either, like I said, grasping for control or fear of losing control. And I
Mm-hmm.
think if you have this gate, it's very familiar to you that those themes of control and finding that balance of what is enough and what to let go and where you
Mm-hmm.
need to, like, maybe exert a little bit more. Because you can also, since it's a will center gate, you have to be careful about risking burnout from trying to
Mm-hmm.
control too much and do too much and manage everything by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And so just know that in its highest expression, it is really great at using and sharing that power wisely and helps model leadership as, like I said, stewardship and not domination. It's a lot of fairness and everything in that. So let's look at that. So there's going to be they're programming partners, so they have a inherent, even though they can work together, they have kind of a polarity there.
Mm-hmm.
Can you see, or in the broad picture with your projector mind of seeing the big picture, what some of that might be? Because you think about depth
Mm-hmm.
and let's say control, the issues of depth, wisdom, and control.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't have to be a bad thing. I'm not
Yeah,
trying
no,
to
I'm
say it.
just trying to see how I can, because that sun energy, that outward expression of like that depth, that mastery, the
Mhm.
knowledge, and then being grounded in that, like, the control of it, but like the sharing of the
Mhm.
resource, which in this case is the knowledge. So that groundingness of that wanting to share and to make sure everything people have what they need and it's all fair and stuff, I think really could help to push out of the well so you don't get stuck in it.
Mhm. Yeah. The way you
I,
just looked at me, you're like, "Yeah."
well, because that was all coming off the fly. Like that was
Well,
just
yeah. And
yeah.
that could be at play here because they're always gonna be working together in that way, but then
Mm-hmm.
also if we look at this in this instance, at this, pairing with the sun, like you said, in the 48, if you think about 48 is offers depth and the refinement. And then 21 wants to direct and manage resources, like you said. So you can kind of also see that the tension that might be there, maybe, is in if we think about what gates in the spleen are all about inner knowing
Mm-hmm.
and trusting your own inner senses and wisdom and what you know without necessarily validation on the outside.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas 21, being a will center gate, is all about
Outward
outer
validation.
authority. Yeah, in a way. And so it's like you said, I think. The control here is going to be informed by that depth, that wisdom, that
Mm-hmm.
wanting to push out is not going to be just shallow, uninformed, or whatever. It's going to be wise and it's going to be the wisdom that is anchored in that responsible leadership. So I think it kind of
Mhm.
like helps usher in this very responsible leadership, because the person who is offering their depth is motivated, like you said, by this sense of wanting to take care of their people. It wants to
Mhm.
lead, but it wants to make sure it's leading. And the more it is, well, actually, if you think about it, it's calling you to be a leader almost in a way in this pairing, because in order for that light to shine for you to share your depth and wisdom, it's got to be rooted in this uh, drive, or this ability to lead and
Mhm.
to help provide for others. So that's just an interesting little thing, but just some things to consider during this transit. Maybe ask yourself where you may be holding back your wisdom out of fear of not being ready, or not knowing enough, and how that can affect your ability to perhaps be a leader, stand out as a leader, or maybe leading your people, your colleagues, your family, whatever it is. And also maybe asking, when you do step into leadership roles, or asked to step into leadership roles, are you coming from a place of wisdom, or from an insecurity and a need to prove, to make sure you're
Mhm.
rooted in that like service aspect of leadership.
Mhm.
And also taking a look at this time, what healthy authority looks like versus controlling out of fear, which is what we're looking at all the time these days. Because and just really lean in and ask yourself what it would feel like to trust your depth, to trust what you know,
Mhm.
and how that could help others, and how you could help support others and lead them through things. And so, 'cause remember, you don't have to have these gates in your chart to be pondering these things, because
Mhm.
these energies are going to be highlighted and intensified throughout the month.
Yeah.
And we all have access to all of these gates and energies in our chart.
Yes.
It's just whether it's more reliable in you, it's
Mhm.
defined, or if it's dependent on things like transits and other people's, if it's undefined. So, all right.
Mhm.
All right. So we're going to move on,
Yes.
because I always get,
We got a lot to go through.
I always front load these episodes. I'm like, ah, shit, I got to get going. Okay. All right. Okay. So on October 8th, we are moving into the sun in gate 57, the gate
Mhm.
of intuition.
Oh.
And in excuse me, the I Ching, it's called the gentle. Mm.
Interesting.
And in quantum, she calls it instinct. Mm. Okay. Look on your face was weird. And this is that gate 57 connects to three different channels. It's part of
Mm.
that integration network. And it is connects to 34, which you have, 3457, which is channel of power, 5710 up in the G center is perfected form. And then
Mhm.
5720 up in the throat is the brainwave.
Interesting.
All right. So then the earth is going to be in gate 51, the gate of shock.
Where are you?
Will center again.
Yes. Goodness gracious. Goodness.
Connects to the 25 in the channel initiation, which I'm getting ahead of myself. So sorry. Gate 51, shock. In the I Ching, it's called the arousing. And in quantum, she calls it initiation, which it
Oh.
connects to the 25 in the G center, and that is called the channel of initiation.
Hmm.
A lot of initiating energy there.
Mhm.
Okay, so 57. I mean, it says it all. It's a gate of intuition.
Mhm.
It
Yeah,
is the
it is.
most intuitive gate in the chart because it's called intuition. It's deep intuitive awareness. It is the ability to sense what is safe, healthy, or aligned in the now. It has a rather refined, heightened sensitivity to people, environments, tones of voice, even the frequency
Mm.
voice of truth
Mhm.
versus distortion.
Mhm.
Obviously, deeply associated with survival instincts again, and clarity. It knows what supports life, what endangers it. And as we say often, the intuitive voice, the splenic voice, the splenic authority is very quiet. It doesn't it doesn't try to grab your attention. It is an instinctual awareness because I honestly think the spleen center is probably my favorite center in the whole chart.
I mean, it's my authority, so it's my favorite.
Yeah. But especially in this gate, because the intuition is the theme of the center, but also this gate.
Mhm,
So it's pretty clear. It's about what is the knowingness of what is healthy, what is good for you, for your survival. It's very instinctual. It's tied to all that. Lives in
mhm,
tune with its environment. And what I love about the spleen center also is it's tied to the lymph system and your immune system. And that's why intuition, your body awareness is faster than the brain, right? Because if you think about the brain has all this processing power, but your whole body is
mhm.
a sensor.
Yeah.
It can,
I mean, I was gonna like you talking about that. It makes me think of like people that have like these super quick reactions to like catch their kids or
yeah,
whatever. Like
yeah.
those
Hmm.
reflexes that your brain
Hmm.
isn't telling you to do that. Your
Mm-mm.
body is moving you to that.
Oh, yeah. There's been all kinds of recent studies and research done about how when they are testing these senses and reactions, like showing people pictures, how much faster, like, or even like their heart rate changes before their brain signals change, that kind of thing. Like how our bodies are tuned to the environment if we let them. Because we've gotten so out of our body awareness and into our
Hmm.
heads. But yes, it's very, very much tied to what is good and correct for you. But the fear here in this gate is the fear of the future.
Ah,
Yeah.
control the future.
No. No, I have this gate once or twice. I can't remember. I know
These
I.
this
Mhm.
pairing is
No, no,
Presley's
no.
no,
Oh yeah,
this
yeah, it
pairing
is.
is Presley's unconscious sun and
Well,
earth.
that's why I always say he's very, even though his energy feels very, for him, very outwardly logical, defined head and ajna, sun and gate 53, I believe, or 54, I don't remember,
54, sun and
53.
54.
54, yeah, ambition. He seems like he's very much, and he is, he's a sacral being, all that stuff. But I know that his strength lies in his intuition.
Hmm.
Anyways, so the fear of the future is this. So we had fear of inadequacy. Now I have the fear of the future. Is not knowing what's going to happen creates that paralysis in a way because it makes it unable to act in the present because you're afraid of what might happen. Because if you think about how even animals and their instincts, right? They learn something, it's passed down through their DNA of what to be afraid of and everything
Hmm.
else. And it's the same for us. It's passed down in our DNA of what is harmful, what to be afraid of, what makes things dangerous. And without, if you're just running on autopilot, that fear is such a strong uh not emotion, but a strong sense that we all have because it's what kept us alive for millennia. Is we're all here because our ancestors survived by
Yeah,
listening to,
they didn't die.
understanding what fear was. But, that fear of what it used to be was fear of actual dying. Whereas the fear that this tends to engender now is not life and death decisions. It's just fear in general, which is like anxiety and worry and not trusting yourself that you know the right thing to do because you're not paying attention to what your intuition is and you think that
Hmm.
everybody else knows more than you and you're trying to reason your way through everything and use your mind for everything. That's where you're out of whack with this gate, especially if you have it in
Hmm.
your chart. You should really pay attention to your intuition because it is very strong because it's defined, which means it's always reliable. It can your intuition is, if it's defined gate 57, the way you intuit things is probably a certain reliable way of things happening to you. Like
Mhm.
you get chills, or that if you something happens, certain symbols sometimes, or words or smells, just things like it can be very reliable in you of how
Mhm.
your intuition shows up, and to pay attention to that body signals and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So then gate 51, gate of shock over there in that will center again. So this is about being in the more in the material world. This is the energy. It gets this gate gets a bad rap, the
Mhm.
whole shocking thing,
Mhm.
rightfully so, because in its detriment, it could definitely have some more negative expressions. But it really is, you think more of that energy of initiation, of courage. It's having the courage to move boldly and to risk bringing the shocking new energy in. It's intended to jolt others and yourself into new awareness, because it's like, if you see where it's pointing to is
Mhm.
25, which
Mhm.
is gate of spirit of the self, I should say. And so that's that energy in this world, to the initiating energy there is poised towards like spiritual expansion and experience, right?
Mhm.
It's associated with a healthy competition. There's a lot of competitive energy in this gate. And at its highest expression, it's really there to connect us back to source, the divine, whatever, through all the trials of life. It's being brave, it's being bold, it's being in the material world. And so it uses these shocks as initiations. And if you have this gate, you can be shocking, or shocking things can tend to happen to you as well. There could be things that happen in life that shocks you into awareness, really, right? And you may just bring that energy with you, that you may not intend to be shocking or anything, but your energy has a way of initiating people into a new sense of awareness.
Mhm.
So there can be a lot of disruptive energy there. When you're unbalanced, you can tend to react a little bit recklessly. There's a lot of ego involved there in the, well, it's the ego center. Provoking others just for the sake of it, for the shock value, causing harm. There can be, if things are happening to you and you're in an unbalanced expression there could be a bit of bitterness there, that like life, here we go again, I'm the victim, things happened, blah, blah,
Mhm.
blah. Which, like you said, this is your husband's pairing here, this sun and earth pairing, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Unconscious, I should say.
Mhm.
And so like I said, I've always known he is very intuitive. And I think I think he's got a very healthy, balanced expression of these energies
Yeah,
together.
I
And
think
he
so.
could be a good example of what the not the polarity, but the programming partners, what was happening here, because gate 57 is very much trusting your instincts, and gate 51 is like, just go for it, leap into
Mhm.
the unknown, like just do it. And so it's like sensitivity and boldness, knowing when to act, and then having the not the gall, but the courage to act,
Determination.
jump in, determination to act, yes, to get into it. And it's, when I think about, also paired with his obvious sun and earth. I mean, his cross is penetration. And so the energy there is very much about waking people up, but also he has that, like you said, that ambition, that starting. Like I've always said to him, he has the
Mhm.
energetic blueprint in his chart for the very thing that he would love to do, which is to be like a venture capitalist. He wants to like, he just wants, because he always wants to be in projects and starting new projects, and he has great
Mhm.
instincts for knowing what's going to go and what's not. And but also just in his personal life, I think about his training, that the things he likes to do physically.
I think one of his favorite things to do is start new workout programs.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. But it's like he's following his sacral, he's
Mhm.
trusting his instincts, he's just jumping into it. He has the energy to do
Mhm.
it. And so this is what it's all about. It's about trusting your intuition, but
Mhm.
also having the courage and the boldness to get into action and actually do something with
Yeah.
it.
I mean, for with him, like a great example of that was like when we moved out here, he started running. And
Mhm.
it wasn't very long after he had started running that he signed up for a big race, which was his 30K, I think is what he did, which was like a
Mhm.
year ago now. Like he had
Mhm.
not been running very long when he signed up for that, but he just like knew that was the right time and he boldly went for it.
Mhm. Yep. You did. So during this time, there's going to be a heightened sense of awareness around that intuition. What is prodding you really? Maybe looking at, is your intuition telling you, is there something that you've been maybe holding back on it, that it's time to take action? This would be a good time to evaluate that, check back in, and know that this could be a good time to get into action because the energy is going to be supporting that. Also, on the other side of that, look at the things you do feel compelled to take action on. Is it more out of fear or ego based? Maybe looking back when you trusted your instincts and when you didn't, were you pushing more? Were you not? Just kind of, this is the best way I think to really s- get a sense for these energies is reflection, looking back.
Mhm.
Hindsight's 2020. But, and also has there been some kind of shocking event lately that has occurred in your life that's nudging you to maybe trust yourself a little bit more? And let's be honest, if shocking things happen, let's not let the first instinct be catastrophe. What is this here to,
Woe is me.
yeah, show me, teach me, prod me into? What can come out of this? That's how I try to look at things anyhow. But I know nobody wants to hear there's going to be a potential for more shocking energy, but
It's been a time.
what it is, we'll do our best to get through.
We're all in it
Okay.
together.
Yeah. Okay. So moving on, unless you have something else to say, we got to get through.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. So moving on to the 14th of October. And again, we have to say, we forgot transits roughly every 6 days.
Oh
I
yeah.
know the sun will be in this gate for 6 days, and it's going off kind of the universal time of like straight up midnight as far as what day it's falling into, but they don't always fall right at midnight. Sometimes it's before
Yeah.
or after, so there can be some
And
variance there.
and it's a moving thing. Like it's the sun is moving through these gates through these different lines each day. So it's like it's not like one day it's in gate 48 and then it flips. It's moving. So there's
Yeah.
transition.
Transitin. Yes.
There's
Yes.
overlap. You're gonna
So
feel energies from multiple gates,
yeah,
I
we're
think.
giving you dates here, but you might get the email from me
The
on the
sun's pretty
13th.
fluid.
It's a big bubbling mass of gas.
It's just pretty fluid. It doesn't like to be labeled.
Right. Okay, so October 14th.
Hmm.
Okay. So on this date, the sun's going to move into gate 32, continuity. In the I Ching, it's called duration.
Mm-hmm.
And in quantum, she calls it endurance. You finding it?
Not yet. No,
Spleen?
I found it. It's in the spleen.
Spleen. I'm going to give you a little hint. We're going through a lot of
Yeah.
spleen gates.
Oh,
Pretty much
okay.
all of them.
Hi, spleen.
Yeah. You would have noticed, I think, after the next one, you might notice, maybe by the fourth one. Okay. The Earth is going to be moving through gate 42, which is the gate of growth. And in the I Ching, it's called increase, increase,
Mm-hmm.
increase. And
Mm.
quantum, she calls it conclusion.
Okay, I found it.
Hmm.
It's in the sacral.
Yes. All right. So, gate 32, sorry, I forgot to say, is in the channel with gate 54 there in the root center. The
Mm-hmm.
5432 is the transformation, channel transformation. And these are the these mirroring gates. They can get confusing if you have dyslexia because they're all mixed up. Because then 42
Right.
creates a channel with gate 53
Hmm. Not
maturation.
only not only are the numbers so similar, they're literally in one corner of the chart.
Yeah.
So it's like not even like you can
Yeah.
separate them on the chart.
Yeah, so it's 54, 32, 53, 42. Yeah,
Yes.
okay. It'll screw you up. Anyway, so 32. So okay. This is continuity duration. So this is in the spleen center. So
Hmm.
it is a lot of instinct and intuition involved here. And it's focused on survival through continuity, stability, long-term growth. It if you think about duration, right? The word that the I Ching uses for it and the channel that it sits in, transformation, it is that journey of so 54 to 32 is there's a lot of ambition rolled up in this channel, and it is about what has the ability to stand the test of time. So 32 is really good at recognizing what has potential and what doesn't. It so that endurance part that she talks about in quantum that she calls it endurance is because it carries an awareness, like I said, of what can endure over time and what cannot.
Hmm.
And so it's very attuned to patterns of success and failure. It feels a pressure to prove what is viable, which can come across sometimes as anxiety of failure. So there is a lot of the fear there is the fear of failing. And so it can be a little bit overly cautious because it's not willing to risk change because it's afraid of failing. There's always that fear
Hmm.
of failing. It can, in that fear state, cling more to what's familiar, even if it's no longer viable, which is obviously not healthy. But that's also a theme there in that spleen
Hmm. Yep.
center of holding on for longer than it is
Hmm.
healthy.
Because the spleen really, really does not like uncertainty.
No.
No.
Um, yeah, and certainty, and I'm glad you said that because there is this tendency in the unbalanced state of this gate of that kind of paralysis state because you don't know
Hmm.
what's certain. You're waiting for things to be perfect or great before committing, but if you're not if you're not tuning into your own natural awareness and you're kind of out there in the world or in your head, the energy here can really like slow you down in that spot, and it can also keep you from taking those chances and potentially saying yes to certain opportunities that are going to help you grow because they might feel a little bit too risky.
Hmm.
But like I said, but if you are following your strategy authority and you're staying out of your head and more in your body, especially if this is your sun gate or it's very prominent, this is an energy that really can persevere. It's kind of the embodiments of that steady, consistent, dependable energy. And again, this one uses that fear of failure as again as a type of fuel to help you discern really and tap into being aware of, let me see, following your instincts, I should say, of what you feel does have that power to endure, because it's interesting being a spleen gate, like we just said, it's instinctual, it's intuitive.
Hmm.
It's not the spreadsheet that tells you X, Y, and Z of what's going to work. So you
Hmm.
have to really be tapped in to your own body awareness, your inner knowingness, your intuition, which, like I said, means staying out of your head.
Hmm. Hmm.
And so the gate 42 then you said was where?
The sacral.
Sacral. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, because yeah, that's right, because 53 is in the root. So sacral. So that's sacral energy. It's responding, right?
Hmm.
So this is the energy for what's mostly associated with, like she calls it, gated conclusion, it's associated with endings. So, like
Mm-hmm.
53 that it's in that channel with is usually associated with beginnings, and 42 associated with endings. And so, if you have that full channel, you are someone who is really keyed in and tuned in of knowing when the right time is to start things and when things have come to a full cycle, I should say, because that's what 42 is all about, is knowing when things are complete. It can follow through until things are complete. Like if this is a gate that you have, you're somebody that can be brought into a project in the middle of something and be able to bring it across the finish line kind of
Mm-hmm.
thing. However, since it is tied into that conclusion kind of energy, if you don't have the other end of that gate, you're always feeling you have trouble starting things or feel like you don't have the energy to start things or nowhere to start. It's like you've got all this energy that's like ready to bring something to a close, see it across the finish line, but it's very hard to get it off the ground. And so you might always be looking for partners or for people that have that energy to help you get in motion and get started. I mean, it's another, I think it would be a very powerful magnetic between especially business partners or people. It's part of the business, well, what they talk about in human design. They made this whole BG5 thing with the energies that are present in a business organization, and this is part of that, because this is, you got to have people that know how to start things and bring things to an end. That's
Mm-hmm.
all business is, right? Starting projects, finishing
Starting and ending.
projects. Literally what you do all the time.
It is what I do.
You do the paperwork all day long.
Yes.
So when we look at how these two work together, so we've got one continuity. It's interesting. You can see more of kind of conclusion energies in these, can't you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because it's one, the sun gate there is having the know what's going to make it across the finish line,
Mm-hmm.
right? And 42 can help bring it across the finish line in a
Mm-hmm.
way, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So there is a lot of growth. It's called the gate of growth and expansion energy. Because if you think about it, it is a sacral gate, so it has sacral energy not
Mm-hmm.
attached to it, but that's a big part of it, right? So that means it's something that is expanding, growing, because sacral energy is all about growing, building, doing, all that stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And with that in mind, that gate 32 having the endurance to bring it there in a nice stable, like it knows what's going to actually be able to endure something that can grow, and so they can really play together there. uh, so during this time, a lot of potential energy around even beginnings and endings, cycles,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe thinking of looking in your own life or your own understanding of how do you perceive endings? Do you see them as failures or as necessary completions? Because one of the themes there with that gate 42 in the sun, in that channel maturation, a lot of the theme is making sure you have all your loose ends tied up, making sure that you can really look and see what needs to kind of come to a close before you can move on to
Mm-hmm.
something new. And with that sun energy there, helping with that insight of like, I think it could really inform, this has
Mm-hmm.
had,
The
it's
sun
had
and
its
the 32.
time. Yeah, the sun in 32, it's had its time. It might help inform bringing it to a close, or is a new cycle wanting to come through, or are we still sticking with where we are and
Mm-hmm.
continuing to grow because it has the potential to grow and grow and grow even more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, let's move on to October 20th.
I do want to say one thing about 32.
Sure.
Talking about like the energy, the spleen fear of like fear of failure, and you when you were talking about having that spreadsheet that says it's going to work out, like I was just kind of having the thought of it's almost like you got to trust that with that endurance, that gate, that even if everything is telling you it's going to be a failure, but like your body says it's not going to be, like you really have to listen to that.
Mm-hmm. Yes, 100%. Because, like we said, that's the gift of the spleen, really, is it's not rational. And remember, it doesn't always repeat itself. And quite
No.
frankly, it doesn't. So
And
if
it can
there's,
be kind of quiet.
yeah, so pay attention to that of is it time or not? May
Mhm.
not be time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Moving on. Okay, so on the 20th of October, October 20th,
Yes.
the sun is going to move into gate 50.
Okay.
As I said, another spleen gate.
Oh.
Sorry, gate 50, gate of values. In I Ching, it's called the cauldron,
It's fun.
and in quantum, she calls it nurturing. And then on Earth, the Earth is going to be in gate 3, which is ordering,
Mhm.
sacral.
I love.
I Ching, it's called difficulty at the beginning,
Mm.
and quantum, she calls it innovation. Uh, I should say that the gate 50 is in the spleen, reaching towards the sacral center,
Mhm.
in the channel of preservation. Gate 27, 50, and 27 make the channel of preservation. And then gate 3, as I said, is in the sacral center, reaching towards the root in gate 60. And that is the channel of mutation.
Mhm.
Before we had maturation, now we have mutation.
They're really trying to trip you up in that little
I
corner
know.
there.
I know. So, gate 50, another one of my gates. Welcome to my spleen. I don't have
you have like
32.
you have like
Mm-mm.
all but
I
one or
don't have
two spleen gates, right?
I don't have 32 or 28, but I have the rest of them. So I should never be in my head ever, and yet
No,
I
you
am.
should always be in your body.
But I'm always like, "But what do I do?" All right, so gate 50 values. So obviously, there's a lot in this gate about values. And as have said before, I think the easiest way to understand the energy here in this gate, in this channel, is if you look at the sacral center on, as you look to the left, it's the 5027 in that
Mhm.
channel. And then on the right, across from it, is the 59-6. And those two channels make the defense circuit, which is within tribal circuitry. The defense circuit's what they call it. The 59-6 is themes around mating, bonding, intimacy, continuing the line. So it's all about
Procreation.
procreation, blah, 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 in the literal sense. So
Mhm.
it's creating the tribe, so to speak, the families, the lineage. And then on the left there in preservation, it's preserving, it is nurturing, it is values. This is
It's
the
raising.
more mothering energy. So the 59-6 is more father energy, the 50-27 is more mothering energy in the traditional roles in that sense of masculine and feminine.
Mhm.
And so this values here then, so this energy is deeply tied to the values of the tribe. Like, this is what we stand for. This, we're
Mhm.
here to make sure everybody has enough to eat. We're here to make sure everybody is clothed. It's tribal survival. It's responsibility. It's nurturing what sustains the family and the group. It's very much concerned with laws and rules and moral
Mm.
codes.
All my
And
favorite things.
I know. Yeah, so it's the instinct to care for others, to protect the vulnerable and preserve the tribe and
Mm.
collective integrity. And as such, it can feel the weight of responsibility, and it has the fear, not the fear of responsibility, I'll say responsibility, but it's the fear of failing your responsibility, I believe,
Yeah.
because I have this gate. So I know this energy. Your brother has the full channel. That's
Oh, he
how.
does.
Yes, which when you look at, you can really see it in Ian because he is very much he has his own moral code of what is right, what is wrong, and he will never deviate. And it is always about what is fair, what is just,
Mhm.
what is the way things should be done. And you will never get him to deviate.
No.
Not that that is fully that channel. That is Ian's expression of that channel because he is a Taurus and he's a 3-5 and he's
He's got a
lots of
lot
other
going
things.
on.
But that's
Hmm.
also, but I know that it's like such a guiding energy in him, and I love that about him because I know that some people might think he's more solitary, but he is very deeply tied to family values, all that stuff. So people with this energy bring that structure, community, well-being, and that fear of failing your responsibilities. It's like you feel responsible for everybody and everything, and making sure everybody's taken care of, including the cats and the dogs and the bird feeder outside and the
Squirrels.
the squirrels and the foxes down the street that live in hollow. Feel responsible for everything, which is not necessarily a healthy thing
Not a
because
healthy level of responsibility.
no. And if you I think on the two ends of this channel, it's a little bit easier for the 50 to kind of put on the oxygen mask first, kind of thing. The
Well, because
27,
it's the spleen.
yeah, the 27 can give and give and give and give. It's sacral. It's like wanting to always do that. But the 50 can, when it's balanced, like you said, it's splenic, so it knows what's great, not only for the tribe's survival, but for your own
Hmm.
survival. But that you could sometimes avoid responsibility because it feels like too much. It can be a little bit overwhelming because
Hmm.
there is that need to, when I say overwhelming, you avoid responsibility. That fear is because of, like I explained, it's fear that you won't be able
Hmm.
to fulfill, to protect, to do. It's too overwhelming.
Yeah,
So you tend
like
to distance and pull yourself back because
yeah,
you're afraid you're going to let people down. You're afraid
yeah.
you're going to.
I was gonna say along that lines, like, and not take on like additional responsibility if you feel like you could not give it all of that it deserves.
Exactly. And since we talked about how we're doing all these spleen gates, and so far I've had these spleen gates. Well, I don't have 32, but as we move on, we have others. This, you think of the fear of inadequacy, the fear of the future, and this one, the fear of responsibility. This is a freaking, it can be an overwhelming a lot. And then we're going to even go to the next one. It's going to be even more. I'm an authority on fear. I'm an authority on self-sabotaging fear.
Uh-huh.
And it's funny because it's not one of those, the fear is that thing that you can't intellectually get past. It is literally these
It's such
fears
a
here.
body response, literally.
Yeah, these fears and are, you're, like I said, you're not going to think your way through them. They are very much in the realm of feel the fear and do it anyways, right?
Hmm.
Which is very hard to do. I get it. I do it all the time. This is like literally my life. Feel the fear and do it anyways. So, one thing also to make sure, if you have that gate or it's going to be highlighted during this time, make sure you're taking care of yourself
Hmm.
because quite often you're putting other people's needs in front of your own because you're trying to ensure they're taken care of, but you need to take care of yourself first. Put that
Hmm.
mask on. So, gate 3, different story here. Gate
Ordering.
gate 3, ordering. It's also called chaos too. It's referred to as chaos sometimes. Some
Mm.
of this energy, I should say. It's not referred to as chaos. I think it might be gene keys. Might be the shadow uh energy. I don't know for sure. I think it is. So it's sacral.
Mhm.
So that gate 60 is that limitation,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So this is kind of like, it's sacral energy that's responding. It wants to get into action, but it's called difficulty at the beginning.
Mhm.
And it is about trying to bring order to chaos
Mhm.
and bring something new in, because that limitation is that one that's about conservatism, not conservatism, but about knowing that in order to grow, there's going to be certain limits, right?
Mhm.
Because you can't just throw everything out and
Yeah.
start
This
new.
this channel really sticks with me. Even though I don't have the channel, I do have the
Mm-mm.
60 though, but like I just always remember like this is the one like the whole channel is about you can't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Like
Yeah.
I remember when we first talked about limitations, it was like, oh, it's like that sounds weird, like you're limiting, but it's like this channel is basically in my mind it's saying, yeah, we know things are fucked, but like not everything is. So we got to keep the
Yeah.
things that aren't.
Well, it's the channel mutation. It wants to bring something new, and sometimes what needs to come forth is confusing. That's the difficulty at the beginning.
Mhm.
That's the sifting through the chaos. And so it helps bring order to the whole process there to help sift through that confusion of what do we need to leave behind, but what do we need to bring forward. We need some guardrails here. We can't, because like we said, if things were always changing from scratch all the time, nothing would endure. Nothing would be, it's built on sand. It's not built on
Mhm.
something solid, which the 60 helps provide that. But it is very creative, or not creative, chaotic in a way.
Upheaval.
This, yeah, this is, I think, your sister, my sister, your aunt. This is her sun gate, I believe, and she's a 4-1. So she has helped me understand this gate some, because
Mhm.
she goes through many times where she just shakes things up, changes where she moves or whatever things she wants to do. She's a manifesting generator, but it's never just out of the blue. It's well researched. It's
Mm.
well, she waits for the right time. Of course, there's going
Mhm.
to be timing seriously involved in this because it's a root center gate. It's a
Mhm.
pulse. You have to be ready to uh bring the order to chaos, kind of thing. You don't know when it's going to happen, so you got to be ready. You got to make sure you get your loose ends tied up. You got to make sure things are in order so that when the time comes,
Mhm.
the energy's there, something new can come through. So in that higher expression, there's a lot of hope there, uh that you'll let me start over and think what I was saying there. In the balanced expression here, it allows for the sometimes slower, maybe a little bit messy process of bringing something new, because you want to make sure you get it right. Like we said, we want to make sure we're on solid ground there, and it can't just happen like that, which so much of us want change to just
Mhm.
happen like that. It's like, I want something new, and we don't want to go through the process of making sure that we've taken care of everything, which is interesting. We've had that previous transit of cycles coming to
Mhm.
completion, knowing, is it the time or not? Are we here now to bring something new through or not? Does it line up with our values? All these things that we're experiencing at this time. So, one thing you don't want to do is rush through this, because you've got to make sure it's the right time. Push too much, you might start something new without having that solid foundation. So, as you look at those two together, 50s wanting to maintain its values, protecting the values of the tribe, while also with gate 3 embracing maybe something new that
Mhm.
wants to come through, but making sure we want to make sure that we're in that solid spot. And I think also always growing the tribe and expanding and moving into new possibilities, and not just staying like tribal,
Yes.
closed up, small, safe in your own little,
Mhm.
never changing little tent. Because I mean,
That
God
leads
knows
to
we need to get,
decay.
yeah, we, I mean, this tribal energy has gotten us so far. And it's just, I think that's why things are so just fucked up right now, is because we're moving past tribal energy. We're seeing that it's so weird. It's like we now live in this global society. We are in touch with the whole world, yet we're clinging even tighter to our small little tribes. Like,
Mhm.
that's what makes us feel safe and secure. Whereas the evolution is pointing towards, no, you're not going to find safety in identity of tribes anymore. You're going to find
Mhm.
safety within yourself and with your own understanding and what it is you contribute to the collective, and not
Mhm.
just like
And
having your
like
tribal leaders tell you what to do.
yeah, and like learning from other groups, from other people, like seeing different perspectives, meeting different people, like expanding
Mhm.
your thoughts, expanding your worldview. It's way better, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah. So as we go through these 6 days, let's just look at where are you clinging maybe to some old values that no longer fit for what changes are wanting to emerge in your life? Is there things that could be evolving and changing? Do they still serve you? That kind of things. Also look at those things like we said again about especially with that gate 50 of what you're holding on to, what you feel responsible for, what is yours, what is not, what is something you could ask for help for maybe, really paying attention to what you need because again, like we said, that's a spleen gate. This is about your own personal health and well-being. So really
Mm-hmm.
look at where you are maybe taking on too much and by taking on too much responsibility, are you hindering the possibility of something new to come through, maybe a new role for people in your family to help support you or even at work by taking it all on for yourself and holding on, like you said, with that control, holding on too tightly, that gate 21, another theme here. Are you taking on too much that's not allowing for your own personal growth or for those around you,
Mm-hmm.
something new to come through?
Yeah.
So, all right. This is a long one, Haley. We're getting there. On the
Is this the last
25th.
one?
No,
Mm.
told you we have one more on the very last day of October.
Oh, okay.
We're going to get, we're on a
All right.
roll. Okay. All right. So 25th, Sun and Gate 28, the game player.
Mm-hmm.
Also in the I Ching, preponderance of the great.
Hoo-hoo.
And also in quantum, I think the best explanation of it, adventure or
Mm.
challenge, she calls it.
Mm-hmm.
And that is in the 28, 38 there from the spleen to the root, the channel of struggle, everybody's favorite.
Mm-hmm.
And then the earth is in gate 27, which we just talked about at
Oh.
the other end of that gate or
Mm-hmm.
that channel. 27 is gate of caring. I Ching calls it nourishment, and quantum calls it accountability. And as we said, that's in the channel with gate 50, preservation.
Mm-hmm. 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 Interesting.
Mhm. Mhm. So, all right, 28. Here we are in the spleen, the game player.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know anything about 28 that you can pull out of the ethers?
Game player,
Adventure,
adventure,
challenge, game player.
struggle.
Let's put
Uh,
the other side, the end. 38's the fighter,
fighter. Right.
28's the adventure challenge.
So 28 is about, so like the fighter is knowing what to, so 38 the fighter is knowing what you want to fight for, like what is important to you, what you want to bring forth, that kind of stuff. And then 28 is like adventure. So it's like more of like, I want to say experience, but that's usually more the solar plexus. I don't, it's like for funds. I don't know. It's a
No,
struggle.
no, you're doing good. You're doing good. Yes, that whole channel, like you said, it's about what worth fighting for, which the 28 is then like, okay, we're this is what we're doing. It faces the challenge. It's up for the adventure. It is the game player. It's ready to get in the game, right?
Okay.
And it's the energy to find that purpose, as I said, because it also asks about what's worth fighting for, what makes life meaningful enough to endure hardship. And so it brings that courage to face the challenges as opportunities for growth because those energies are always moving towards growth, right? And so the fear then in that gate is around that life is meaningless, that there is nothing, that it just what's the point? What's the fight for? There's nothing worth
Oh.
fighting for. And it's a fear of death that they put it in short terms, the fear of death. But really it's that you would die without life having meant anything. It's
Or
like,
I wonder if it's like this fear of dying before you die. Like you're talking about like the game player adventure, like all of that, like just kind of like nothing,
well,
meaningless, but
yeah,
you're not
meaningless.
like
Yeah.
death without dying is I wonder also a way to
Yeah. Yeah. And so, yes, yes, and
Thank you.
yeah, fear of a meaningless life. Nobody wants that. And so
Mm,
we talk about this channel a lot. Have tried in our small part to reframe the traditional teachings of this channel because it's the thing where people see it's kind of like when you get the death card in a tarot spread. Everybody's like, "Oh no, that's bad." When you see you've got struggle in your chart, you're like, "Oh no, that's bad." But no, it means that you're always someone, if you have that full channel there, you are someone who grows through challenge and through struggle.
mhm,
Life may present certain struggles for you for that very purpose, for your soul to grow and
mhm.
evolve and
Yeah.
expand. And so, this energy here in this gate is attuned to what is meaningful, what's worth fighting for, being willing to get in the game, to be a game player because it's all part of the experience. It's the energy of being able to turn adversity into wisdom. It's somebody who knows about resilience and empowering themselves straight through struggles, like what we said. Basically, life's a game to be played. You're the game player, right?
Mhm,
It's not something to be endured, it's to be like in it to
mhm.
win it.
Yeah. Presley has this whole channel.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
And he again expresses it well because
He
he,
loves to do hard things. He loves a challenge.
okay, so this is a great juxtaposition is the right word, but contrast, let's say. Your husband,
Mhm,
yes. And somebody in my family, sister in law perhaps, who also has it,
mhm,
who life has been one struggle after another. Her expression goes more towards the unbalanced
mhm,
expression of just always struggling, struggling for the sake of struggling, and
mhm,
even creating her own struggles, I think, at
mhm.
times.
Absolutely.
You know, tends to bring in a lot of cynicism and hopelessness and despair that what's the point? Oh, I guess I'll keep going. Things always happen to me. This is always life is hard, life is hard, life is hard. You
Mhm.
know, where
Literally
you're
makes struggles out of nothing.
yeah, struggles for the sake of struggle,
Mhm,
fighting unwinnable battles, clinging to suffering, some of those things. Whereas your husband can be more of the person that's like, well, this is the challenge I have ahead of me. This is the cards I was dealt. This is where I am. What am I going to do with
mhm,
it? Like he had just as much uncertainty and things in his early life that the struggle made him stronger, made him focused, made him jump in,
mhm.
create a meaningful life for
Yeah.
himself. He has
Made
not
him know
let
what
it.
he doesn't want.
Yes, he's not falling into victimhood and despair and all that other stuff. He's using each challenge and he loves a challenge as we just said earlier.
Fucking loves them.
He does choose them sometimes, but it's for the purpose. He's always trying to improve himself and
Mhm,
get in the game. He's definitely not one that's sitting by the sidelines of life. Like he's definitely getting in there. So then we have on the other end of this programming partner, this nurturing, this caring, this sacral energy, then
mhm.
of, as I just said, nourishing, caring. We kind of explained it in the last transit.
A little bit.
Um, yeah, again, it's that instinct to provide materially, spiritually, whatever. It's that more nurturing energy. So it it wants to help since it is the sacral energy, it has
Mhm,
the energy. So the 50 had the awareness, the 27 has the energy to bring it forth. And so this when you look at unbalanced there could be overgiving, depleting that energy, not direct, not involving the sacral response there, maybe
mhm.
giving where it doesn't need to be giving anymore, doing things for people it doesn't need to do
Mhm.
anymore. It's kind of like that
I could
tiger
see it.
mom kind of
Yeah, I
energy
was gonna
of,
say like overly trying to
hmm
provide and control and like because you think
yeah,
you know what's best, but you're doing too much, so it
yeah.
becomes a detriment.
Yeah, it's the detriment there of what you're saying is not empowering your children or your
Yes.
people by always doing everything for them. Don't do that. You've got to let
Mm-hmm.
them fail sometimes. Or using caretaking as a control method.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, unhealthy mothering instincts
Yeah.
here. So when we look at them together, so the 28 having that energy to get in the game, but 27 saying, are you nourished? Are you taking care of yourself, taking care of others? How do we balance like that nurturing with that adventure and that
Mm-hmm.
responsibility of taking care of yourself, taking care of others with
Mm-hmm.
also
Is is 28 individual energy? It's in the middle of the
yes.
three, so
Yes.
okay.
Yeah. But also so that struggle there that's associated with 28, that adventure, that challenge, making sure it's grounded in those caring values, nurturance,
Mm-hmm.
nourishment, resilience, support, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of being the nice anchor for being able to get in the game, to be able to go out and face the battles and face the
Mm-hmm.
adventures and everything else.
Yeah.
So,
It just made me think like so that 28 very like individual energy, the game player being in the game, then that 27 having that more tribal like that energy. It makes me think of, like when you have a game night, like you're all playing your own role in the game, but you're
mhm,
doing it all together. So it's just an interesting how that groundingness of like we're all in this together.
yeah. So, just during that time, maybe look at, are there places that you're struggling in your life right now? What is happening? Is this something that's more of a habit, or is it something that maybe you're having a struggle or a challenge with, that evaluating, is this something you can let go? Is this something that needs to be seen through? What's the point?
Hmm.
Is it going to, am I nourished enough to take this on? Well, I just said it. I just said it. Can
Yeah.
I take this
Also
on? Am I nourished? Is
like
it nourishing
do
me?
do I need help from other people to nourish me so I can go do
hmm
this?
Yeah. And like I said, and then also look at where you are, maybe, possibly evaluate your roles, if especially if you have this gate active in your chart, defined. Are you doing too much?
Mhm.
Are you taking on too much for other people? Are you empowering them, or are you creating codependency?
Mm.
Hard truths there, but necessary. So
Yes.
just looking at that through that transit. So now we're going to get to the last one, Haley. Okay, so on the last day of October, the 31st,
Spooky
Halloween.
season.
Spooky.
Hmm.
All right, the sun's going to be in gate 44 as we round out our journey through the spleen.
Have we?
Hmm?
We've hit every spleen gate now except
We
for
did it.
18.
We did it last month.
Was it the end of last month?
Yeah, pretty sure.
I
I know
love.
you're going to ask me that, but yes, I can't remember one month to the next. Yes, yes, it was the end of, it
uh,
was the last gate. So we went all the
I
way through the spleen.
appreciate the transverseness that we just went through the spleen. I don't know if that's exactly the word I want, but
The transverseness? I don't think
also I
so,
don't
but
think it's a word.
transverse is a word, but transverseness, what?
Traverse. Oh,
Traversing. Yes, we were traversing through the
we
spleen.
have
Yes.
traversed.
Journeyed.
Yes.
Traverning. True, true. Okay.
Ah,
All right.
interesting.
So,
Okay.
gate 44.
Yes.
Alertness.
Mm.
In the I Ching, it's called coming to meet.
Huh.
And in quantum, it's called truth. And
Mm,
it's
okay.
reaching towards the will center, towards gate 26 in the channel of surrender.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes.
And then the earth is in gate 24. 24 up. Ajna.
Up. Oh. Found
Ajna.
it.
The gate of rationalization.
Mm, mm-hmm.
In I Ching, it's called returning. In quantum, she calls it blessings. And so gate 24, reaching to gate 61 in the
Mm-hmm.
head. Excuse me. In the channel of awareness.
Mm-hmm.
Verifying. Yes. Awareness.
Yes.
Sorry.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I think so many things about that channel, so I can never get the name of the channel right. So, all right. So 44, last spleen gate,
Mhm,
alertness. Right.
mhm,
This is a lot to do with patterns, memory, past patterns, instinctive
mm,
alertness based on patterns. It's
mhm,
attuned to whether something is safe or trustworthy or beneficial. Obviously, it's instinctual, it's focused on
mhm.
survival. And
I
really,
think
it's about,
I want to also say there, I think part of it is plausibility of things too. Because Presley has this, and I see it show up, I think, a lot.
well, let's see. So basically, it's really it's recognizing what's worked before
Or has
or
not.
failed, right?
Hmm.
Or has
Hmm.
not. And so it's tribal, but it's also what they call business circuitry there because I always say 4426, if you have that channel, you're probably a whiz at marketing and sales because the 26 is the gate integrity you have. I have the 44. Together, we're unstoppable. Well, we've never done anything like that. But
We made this
but
podcast.
yeah, we did. Um sorry.
Wow. uh,
Anyways, so this gate in particular is the I like to see it as the hostess that, you know, or that welcomes you in, makes you feel safe, makes you feel comfortable, and is able to put you in a sense of state of then being able to kind of in this sales dynamic kind of thing kind of lets you know what you need, uses its way to let you know what you need, what you don't need, helps set the stage. I always think about like the real estate agent that makes the house feel staging the house to make it feel warm and
Making the
inviting so you
cookies.
can envision yourself there. That's the energy I usually think. But really it's tied to like it said, that alertness is it is for the tribe, holds the memory of this is safe, this wasn't safe, this helped us grow, this didn't. We eat this berry, we don't eat that berry. Like, stay away from that. That's where all the bears live. It's safe to fish over here. Like, this is the essence of the instinctual purpose and
Hmm.
function of this gate. It is I believe this is the one that is because it can be tied to a sense. I think this is one that's tied to a sense of smell. I always say this is like the bullshit gate. Like you can smell it. I mean, especially it's reaching towards integrity, the gate of integrity. Um, getting my other notes there if it has here. Yes, sense of smell. Olfactants, they call it, I think, of being able to smell the truth or when something smells off, like it's in this gate. It's the instinct and the intuition to know that. But it's really gifted at being able to sell the tribe on what it needs to know. Like it can tell you literally like, hey guys, this is what we need. We're going in this direction. Promise to make it work out. We're all going to be taken care of. We just gotta trust me here. This is we're going to be able, we'll be just fine. And so it helps bring that sense of reassurance and safety to people to then be able to get them to go the direction you want them to go because the 26 there plays into that as well as being like because it's a will center gate, it is like it knows exactly what you need. 24 helps kind of like tell
44.
you why. 44 helps tell you why. So, like I said, you if you have this gate, you're probably really good at recognizing patterns. You definitely the fear there. So, this is fun. The fear there is the fear of the past. So, 57 is fear of the future, 57 44 is fear of the past, or more specifically, the past repeating itself.
Yes, my husband loves that.
Yeah. Another thing that can just hamstring you there is like, okay, I'm afraid of the future, but I'm also afraid of the past repeat itself. So I can't go forward
Wow,
because I don't know what's gonna happen.
it's almost like the spleen is like, stay in the moment.
Stay safe. Don't move. Just stay still. Instinctually, yes. In our when it was our old almost lizard brain, but Yeah, so in the detriment, this gate can be overly suspicious, unable to trust other people, can obsess over the past, can get stuck in old stories, old wounds, past failures. Like I said, you may never move forward. Say you had a business failure, and so it stops you from ever doing anything again because you just know how it's going to work out. This is
Mm-hmm.
literally the like, this happened before, so it's going to happen again. And that is the
Yes.
last thing that is true. This, I mean, it could not be anything further than the truth. I mean, sure, things can repeat themselves. They say the past repeats itself, but often the past repeats itself because you're fixated
You
on the
didn't change
past
anything.
and you're bringing it forward into the future. Exactly.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. So you're,
My husband will say all the time, "Oh, I hope it doesn't turn out like last time," and I just want to throttle him.
I mean, I totally get it. Can be very afraid of repeating those past mistakes. And I mean, nobody wants to make mistakes. But if you could learn from your mistakes, then your chances of repeating the mistakes are slim to none because you'll do things differently. Now, if you just
Mm-hmm.
keep doing the same thing over and over again, yeah, you're going to repeat the same mistakes. But if
Yes.
you're paying attention to what didn't work, then. So then let's look at the ajna energy here, this gate 24, because now we are pairing the spleen with the mind,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
This is in that knowing channel. It's in the beginning of that business, or excuse me, knowing individual circuitry, knowingness. And this is that in it. So the way it processes what comes through the knowingness, it's got to allow space for it to come through, that awareness piece. You don't always know when the thing's
Nugget.
going to drop in, when it's going to that aha moment. So it's tends to revisit thoughts, ideas, kind of mulling it over. It's that eureka, like, oh, now I get it. Usually comes through when you're not paying attention, but it's the mind like kind of going over something until it makes sense, right? Returning. It's returning over and over
Mm.
again. It can bring new insight in because it's mutative, it's innovative, it's individual energy there, but it can also really get stuck in those mental loops we were talking about last time, and can can ruminate on the past
Mm.
of what didn't work, right? Because your husband has this channel as
Mm-hmm.
well.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So you could see where this could get him stuck sometimes
Mm-hmm.
because he has this is all defined energy in his chart. So he's got to it's going to be a dependable way of reliable way that he's going to approach problems even though he doesn't have to. And so I think here you're finding clarity in the this ajna gate through reflection. So there's definitely a tying if you can see these energies of looking back in a
Mm-hmm.
sense. But I think if you are grounded in the process of maybe reflection and ruminating, but knowing that the blessings come, she calls it blessings, when you kind of detach and you almost get out of the mind and then
Mm-hmm.
allow the 44, the instinctual, the intuition, that kind of awareness to help you connect the dots kind of in the way. You know what I mean?
I
That's
think so.
how I'm seeing it.
Mm-hmm.
And the strength in that gate 24 and in that knowingness circuitry there is knowing and trusting that it will come together. You will have the answer. You'll know what you need to know when you need to know it. And these two pair very well together with that. As long as you're not, like you said, fixated on the past, just looping and trying to force the understanding, force the meaning, force what,
Mm-hmm.
you're supposed to know, but step into that gate 44, into the body, into your instinctual and intuition, and just it's just like let it let the smoke dissipate, just let the fog clear. It will just all kind of like shoop in when you need it. That's how I see it.
Uh-huh.
So there could be a tendency to want to kind of get stuck in the past, like you said, replaying those experiences to make sense of them. Maybe if you are kind of that obsessive rumination, getting stuck in those past stories, not letting yourself move forward, but really instead allowing the space for that there's something to know about what happened and you're going to get there. It's going to come through clearly. You just have to trust that you'll know What you know when you know it. Like I always said.
Yeah. I mean, we say it again and again and again. Like, it's all about timing.
Yes, it is.
So, I mean,
Everything
this
is
whole
about
system
timing.
is timing, and it's like ultimately it's about slowing down. Like, it's just
Yeah.
taking time to process things.
Not forcing things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Hmm.
So, looking at these transit, evaluating, are you getting stuck in the past? Are you letting things that happened in the past dictate your present choices without giving space for something new to come through, some new meaning? Do you trust your instincts or are you too in your head? Are you rationalizing away? Like you've got to find the balance there. This is the opposite of overthinking, honestly. I mean, this whole pairing here, or this whole month, really. And also, look at the patterns in your life. See if there were patterns. See if you could see the patterns where things, worked out. And if there were patterns of when they didn't work out, were there clues that you had along the way might bring some new awareness to the whole situation for you. And so just I kind of like the energy of these gates playing together. It's definitely giving you that pass on having to know right now and just being like, that'll be cool. I'll figure it out. My
Yeah.
life is a journey. I've seen the struggles. I've been through cycles. I've done all the things. I trusted my intuition instinct wherever they got me.
Yeah. And it
So,
is interesting, all of the sun energy being in the spleen for this last month of this quarter, leading into what is the mutation, the fourth quarter, like just very much interesting. Like it's very much in the now, like the benefit of you, like very much like taking care of yourself and like we're looking at the past, but at the same time, like focused like in the present and just kind of like seeing what's
hmm
important, what game you want to get into, like all of that stuff, what
yeah,
knowledge you have.
because the next quarter is mutation, which is all about transformation, which is
Hmm.
about the journey and where you go from there, what
Hmm.
you've been through, and what's coming through new, what's gonna transform. That's the end of the year.
Hmm.
That's all that energy. So we got a lot going on. All right, so we got through them all, Haley. It was 6. It was
Yay!
a lot. Luckily, we love the Spleen Center. We get to
The
talk about the Spleen Center a
spleen.
lot. But that means, since it's the end of the episode, that means it's time for,
The incarnation cross of the week.
yes, still. All right, so we're going to end today with the incarnation cross of the week of the right angle cross of the 4 ways, 3. We like to highlight a cross on every episode because, as we said, these sun and earth themes carry big themes in your life. And we like to show you a aspirational version of this cross. There are not a whole lot of resources out there for incarnation cross. There's like 1 or 2 books I know of, but in general, we like to kind of show you the potential and when you are living according to your strategy and authority, which is really just living in alignment with what your energy is meant to do and how it's
Hmm.
meant to operate. These themes are always being brought into the room with you, but this helps show you a picture of what that full like embodiment, and
Hmm.
some people refer to it as your purpose, but I mean, it's nothing you have to try and do. It's
You
just
don't have to
who
turn
you
it on.
are. Yeah, you just have to like live in alignment with yourself, and this is the impact you have.
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right. So the right angle across the 4 ways, 3. So it's this time of year. Right angle cross means it's a what profile?
That means that the profile starts with a 1, 2, 3, or you're a 4, 6.
Correct. All right. And so, no surprise, this gate or this cross consists of, on the right hand side of the chart, personality, side of the chart, black numbers. Gate 44 is the sun, alertness. Gate
Hmm.
24 is the earth, rationalization. Obviously, we just covered this. On the unconscious side of the chart, left side of the chart, red numbers. The sun is in gate 33, privacy. And the earth is in gate 19, wanting.
So we have alertness, Oh, I had them.
Rationalization.
Alertness, rationalization. I had them.
Privacy.
Privacy. I had them, and then
And wanting. Doesn't matter. Just listen.
Okay.
You got it?
Yeah, I really lost that one. Let's see what it says.
All right. So, if you were born under this gate or this incarnation cross, you came into the world with the gift of sensing what is needed and knowing how to bring it together. You have a natural ability to see what resources are available, who has the right skills, and how to guide a process so that real success can be created. At your core, you're here to orchestrate and direct energy in a way that uplifts not only you, but the people around you, making sure that what is built has value and substance. Your deeper mission is to shift the stories that people live by. You see where old patterns keep someone stuck, settling for less than they deserve, and you know how to open new possibilities through narrative and meaning. With your sensitivity and intuition, you help others recognize where they've been rationalizing or playing small, and you show them how to claim their worth. You're here to help rewrite stories of limitation into stories of value, guiding others towards recognizing their true potential and the richness of what they bring into the world.
Yeah. Claim your worth.
Yeah. And we're happy you're here.
Yeah.
In more ways
Everyone.
than one. So we're going to wrap this up because we had a long episode today. And, but just want to finish by saying that we really appreciate you listening. And we're always happy to do these episodes about the energies that's happening in the cosmos and in your backyard. Literally. Anything else you want to say, Haley, before we say goodbye?
Nope.
There you go. Let's see. Have a great October. Enjoy all the spleen gates. Don't let yourself get too stuck in fear. Remember,
Especially in
fear.
spooky season.
Feel the fear, do it anyways. And let's just always keep moving forward, ever upward. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So love you, Haley. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye. You made it all the way to the end of today's episode, so you must have liked what you heard. If you did, make sure you subscribe so you never miss an episode, and perhaps leave us a good review. And if you know someone who wants to dig into all things human design with us, make sure you share the Human Design Hive podcast with them. We'd really appreciate it. Thanks for listening.